The royal family could have handled Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's decision to step back from their royal roles differently. Viewing the royal year as 2021 ends, Alastair Stewart aired some of the critical public views about the Sussexes. This couple is branded inconsiderate and twosome disgrace for the royal family in a new interview survey taken in London. Meanwhile, Mr. Hunt argued Meghan and Harry's departure created a binary split between supporters of the Sussexes and other members of the royal family. Mr. Hunt said, "Either you are pro-Harry or pro-William, and there doesn't seem to be much room where you could navigate a path through whereby you can accept there may have been fault on both sides, where they could have reached different accommodation. And I do think history will judge that the institution could have done more not to jettison them in the way that they are now jettisoned." Host Eddie Mair asked, "Sometimes when regular families have a dispute between siblings, it's been forced to a parent to heal the wounds or knocks heads together, whatever's required. I wonder Prince Charles' possible role?" Mr. Hunt replied, "I don't think he has one at the moment. I think that's part of the tragedy. As you rightly say, lots of family go through this, they just don't have the misfortune of going through it discussed by people like you and I in detail and in many other places, but I do think he does have a role, and I think it's clear he has a pretty bad split between him and his son Harry." Harry's upcoming memoir has also been tipped to cause potential new problems for the royal family and cause further tension with the Prince of Wales. A royal insider said, "There is a feeling among some of his long-term friends that Harry's outbursts, whether deliberate or unintentional, are chipping away at the prince's authority. This matters, as the day he becomes king is now no longer somewhere over the horizon. Charles himself is desperate not to exacerbate matters and, as always in matters concerning his children, is determined to avoid any confrontation. He has been hurt by some of the things that have occurred, but it's also fair to say he has also been baffled too." Speculation about Prince Harry's relationship with Prince Charles arose after the Duke of Sussex claimed his father had not been responding to his calls since his departure from the royal family in March 2020. Record released after the interview, however, showed Prince Charles had given the couple £2 million at the end of the financial year 2020 to 2021. A source close to the Prince of Wales said, "He was aggrieved by the idea that he was some kind of tightwad. Not only had he paid a huge amount for the cost of the wedding, he also had provided the couple with a substantial sum of money to help them become financially independent. It has certainly been a turbulent year for the royal family, but what was your most memorable moment?" began Stewart in his interview near Buckingham Palace. "Meghan and Harry," Oof replied of Britain. "It's mainly bad. Just everything surrounding them, the bad press, the bad publicity, all of it. It is just poor." Another person said, "I think they have disgraced the royal family, and the further away they are the better." Some also backed Meghan's stance, saying, "Meghan coming out and telling us what she went through in the family. Coming from a minority background myself, that kind of stayed with me," added another Meghan supporter. Another person said, "There was no interaction. Meghan would just speak and say things, and it showed clearly afterwards that there were a lot of inaccuracies in what she said.